let's talk about the other component of the loan, which is the consultant.
Sure.
I was unaware, during my deal that consultants existed because my understanding, I believe, is the streamlined 203k is not, you don't necessarily need a consultant, but the one over 30 or 35,000 you do. Is that the general basis? Um,
Yeah.
because I just say that because I didn't, I was instructed to do under 30. So I did about 32,000 on my loan, and then I brought out about 30,000 out of pocket just so that it would stay streamlined.
Mhm.
So I didn't know about the consultants. Talk about the consultants because I feel like they're an amazing piece of the puzzle.
Oh yeah, I like to call them the 203k tour guide. Here's the thing, right? There's 203k consultants out there, and just like any other profession, there's good ones and there's bad ones, right? And at the end of the day, though, in addition to the lenders, who's going to know this process better than them, right? And as I said before, the good lenders are going to point you to the good professionals, and a good lender is going to use a good 203k consultant. So 203k consultants are kind of like lawyers if you get arrested by the cops. They tell you you could use your own lawyer or one will be provided for you. So I like to tell people if they want to take it a step further, to start calling around the 203k consultants in their market. And you could find that very easily. Again, quick Google search 203k consultants, and there's a map, and you can kind of call down the list. And you're able to find the guys that are doing a lot of these, right? It's like it's the 80-20 rule, right? There's 20% of the consultants doing 80% of the 203k projects in your market, right? So you want to locate those guys, and you kind of want to build a little bit of a relationship with them because they're going to guide you through the process. They know how to handle the contractor. They know how to build a scope of work. They roughly know what the cost estimate's going to be, and it's important to lean on them, right? You do pay them. It's a sliding scale. It's basically like an inspection. Inspections usually go $400 or $500 depending on your market. These guys charge about the same. The difference with their inspection is kind of contingent on what the property will be when you're done with the renovation, right? So these 203k consultants, they're basically they're like the neutral third party. Okay, so what they do is they come in on your project and they look out for you, the borrower. They look out for the bank to make sure that the bank is getting a furnished property when they're done, and they're also looking out for the contractor. They're making sure that the contractor is getting paid for the work that's owed to them. So it's really great. I tell people all the time, it's like flipping a house on training wheels, right? Because you're kind of removing yourself from that typical like middleman issue when you're trying to figure out, if the contractor's owed what he thinks he's owed, and you get into an argument with the contractor because you think he needed to finish this to get paid and he didn't. And this is a neutral third party, and he looks at what's done in the property and he pays them based on what's done. It happens in draws, very similar to any other project. You get started, 25% in, you call up the 203k consultant, the 203k consultant comes, takes a look. They're like, yep, everything looks good. Here's what you're going to get paid for. This is the work that you've done. And the contractor knows that they're getting their money. That money is in escrow. It gets held in escrow by the bank. So the money's there. They can be confident knowing that the money's there. And they could be confident that there's going to be a guy that's there that's going to objectively look at everything that's been done on the property and pay them out. And they're a really great resource. And I want to touch a little bit on the 203k Streamline that you mentioned. It's called Streamline. I think it's actually called a Limited now. It's kind of the same thing, but like you said, yeah, it's a $30,000 limit with a $5,000 contingency built on top. So people throw that $35,000 number around a lot, but there's a lot of confusion with that. A lot of people think that you need to stay under $30,000 on your renovation. That's not true. That's only if you want to do the Streamline now, or the limited version. The thing with the limited version is that like you said, you don't get a consultant involved. And what I will say is that the consultant is worth its weight in gold, right? Because they're keeping the contractor honest. They're helping you build a scope of work. These days, 30,000 unfortunately doesn't get you too much. It depends on your market. in New York, 30 grand, I could sneeze and blow 30 grand on a flip, right? But in some of these other markets, 30 grand can get you a decent renovation, and it's good to have that neutral third party that can oversee. So as much as you don't need a 203k consultant on a streamline or a limited loan, a lot of banks often ask for it. They often push it anyway. And that isn't to say you're limited to 30 grand, right? In many cases you're going to be over that, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing a full 203k, as they call it, right? The renovation potential that you have is virtually limitless. It's more limited to your income and your financial criteria more than it is a cap on like how much you could do.